Well, hello there. Welcome to my hive. This is JB's Crochet. I'm Amber. And today I have another sit and stitch where we are going to work on this blanket some more. I did not touch it yesterday. Bad Amber. Bad Amber. So I had somebody who was watching the video that wanted to see the front of this because I don't show it enough. Because, I mean, the front's the better part to see anyway. So this is what it looks like on the front. Now I can't unsee Space Invaders. It's so cool. And the texture this thing has, y'all, is ridiculous. Like, when you look at it from the side, when I'm holding it up, it's just bump, 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 bump. Like this. I'm like, it's so cool. Let's see if I can get it to do it. When you look at it from like a top-down view type of thing, it's just ridges. It's so cool. It kind of makes me think Apache Tears a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I need to turn it this way, so I may need to twist it again. Nope. I just gotta get this on that side. There we go. I thought I was in the middle of a row, but I guess I'm not. I'm actually on the last row of the green, which will get done during the video this morning. And then I will add the blue on. And then I'll add the purple on. And then I'll sew in all my tails up to this point because my goal was every repeat. But the last 4 repeats, I've done every 2. Or I've done 2 of them at a time instead of 1. So instead of doing 6 sets of tails, I'm going to be doing 12. But that's okay. It goes pretty quick. But I did not want to have to be doing all of these tails when I got done. So I'm doing them a little bit at a time. So that way I'm not doing all of them at one time. So anyway, yesterday, I guess, marked, I was thinking for some reason Tuesday morning was the end of our routine, but really today is the end of our routine. We are officially done with our evening activities. Yay! Yay, not yay. Kind of like sorry, not sorry. Yay, not yay. I don't know what I was gonna say. It might be a rough video this morning. I don't know, my brain has run out of things to say, I guess. What could I talk about? Like yesterday we did, I could talk about, oh my goodness. I was a silly person yesterday. So, I was watching Julianne, who is Frizzy Bee. She had a live yesterday and she was showing off some yarn that she had recently bought from Joanne. And I was like, oh, I need to have that. And I was like, oh, I wonder if my Joanne has finally got anything else in besides what they've been having the last couple times. And I was like, and then she showed that she had picked up some neon lights or stripes, neon lights, not stripes. And I was like, well, if hers has that, maybe mine got a new shipment in, a new truck, you know? And so I was like, I didn't want any more of the neon lights per se. I just wanted the Bernat blanket, or not blanket, but she found this Bernat ombre twist thing, twisted ombre or something. Kind of reminded me of a puzzle. Apparently it was a thinner puzzle, like a thinner yarn. It was more on the light, it was a DK weight, I think she said. And there was like 1,000 yards in this ball of yarn that she showed. And I went, I only need like 3 of those and that makes a blanket. So I was like, I only need 3 to make at least a blanket, right? 3,000 to make a blanket. That'll be a nice blanket size with a DK. I don't know what pattern I would use a DK for a blanket, but maybe I'll come up with one or something. I don't know. But anyway, she was showing off this yarn, and so I was just, man, I've got to run to this Joann's. I was like, I need to get out and about anyway, because I need to go get cupcakes for my daughter to take with her to youth group, because it was her birthday this last weekend, and I wanted to, and it just ended up being their last Wednesday night meeting anyway, so they, I wanted her to be able to have like a little celebratory snack with her friends in her youth group. Her little small, so like at this church that we go to, they have youth group every Wednesday nights, and they have a large enough group of kids that come that and they're big about small groups even for adults, and so they're but they get the kids into smaller groups, so and they're not just there screwing around the whole time. They're actually doing a discussion, and then they have time to, you know, play games and things amongst the whole group. Apparently, the 8th grade boys finally got beat in tug of war last night. Woohoo! They've been 3-year champs now, I guess, and they finally got beat. That was one of her highlights last night. But anyway, they split them up into small groups, and so she's gotten really close with a lot of the girls in her little small group, and so I wanted them to have, like I said, a treat for her small group, not the whole 100 kids that are there. I hear a lot of walking around. I don't need them to come in here. Anyway, so yeah, her highlight was the tug of war. The 8th grade boys lost finally, I guess. And she talked to the guy that directs the middle school group, the whole group. His name's Noah. If Noah's ever watching this, thank you for being an amazing director for our kids. And this guy, he's got such high energy, and the kids just love him. He's a young guy. I think he's in his late 20s, early 30s. I'm not sure. He's young. I think he's in his 20s. He's married, I think. Yeah, he's married. He's got a wife. Almost positive he's got a wife now. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Ew. So I had to get out anyway and go get cupcakes for her from the store. And then while I was there, I was like, you know what? I might as well grab a couple of things I know I need to make homemade mac and cheese out of in the pressure cooker, and which actually turned out good. I was missing one ingredient because I forgot that I had ran out of Parmesan cheese, and I didn't grab any when I was at the store. But I made mac and cheese, and then I made little smokies in a jelly barbecue sauce. Liquid stuff, you know, that they cooked in. It was a grape jelly and barbecue sauce mixed together. Anyway, before that, I ran all the way to a whole nother state. Now, see, there's 3 Joann's in my area. Well, they're still open, so they're still there until they're not. But I had, when they were in their glory, 3 Joann stores I could choose from, 2 of which were 20-25 minutes away. And they weren't easily like, I'm just gonna drop down and go to it. But I was like, you know what, these are closing. I almost went to the second one that's further away. Not much further, like another 5 minutes further. But I was like, no. I hit that first one all the way over in Iowa, and I was like, again, only 25 minutes from here. And but it's just not a store I go to on a regular basis because it's 25 minutes away, and I have to drive on the interstate to get to it, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good. But I went there, and boy, I walked in, and that place was empty of just, I almost would say 90% of what they had, and there was gone. Like, they had quite a bit of the fabric remnant, or fabric bolts left and things, and then the rest of the store was just barren. They had a few things here and there. They had like one box of like that, what is that knit yarn? It's that yarn where it's like straight line. It's a straight piece of yarn for a while, and then it's got loops on it for you to learn how to knit it or something. It's like a learn to knit yarn or something. All the stores have a lot of it left over, and I never got any of it. And it's thick yarn too. It's not small yarn. It's almost like blanket yarn kind of. But they had like a box of that, and that was it. And I was like, I literally walked in, kind of did a quick little U, and then came back to the front door and left. I was in there literally maybe 30 seconds. It was a sad state in that store. Very, very sad state. I don't know how the employees can, I mean, I have great respect, mad respect for the employees that are still working at Joann stores around the country that are desolate like that, abandoned. They almost feel abandoned. It's just sad. And so anyway, I was like, you know what? Well, I got out to go to a Jan, so I'm gonna head back over to Omaha, which, I mean, I didn't have to go very far. Omaha and Council Bluffs sits right next to each other on either side of the state line, with the Missouri River cutting them down the middle. So I headed back over towards my area of town, 10 minutes south of my house, and then went into the regular Joann that I've been going to, and they still had quite a bit of yarn left over. They were dwindling quite a bit, so I think they've received the last of what they're gonna get with yarn, unfortunately. So I was like, I think this is it. And there wasn't much left. Like, there was still a lot left there, but when it came to like colors and things, I was like, I don't need any more of any of this. Now, my yarn got knocked down to 70% off. I really wish I would have waited, but I'm glad I didn't, because when I was there the last time at 60% off last week, I was able to get, I had a few more options to choose from. This time, not so much. Like, the choices were dwindling, but the amounts of those choices weren't necessarily. Like, there was still quite a bit of a yarn department, but not when it came to like picking, you know, having your choice of all these things. I guess it's hard to explain. Like, there was a lot of like red 1 pound of love or big twist, whatever, extra pounders or whatever they're called. There was like a whole, like the wall, where the yarn wall used to be, there was probably like 20 little things filled with these 1 pounders, you know, of red. And then there was like a whole bunch of like black and things like that. And then there was still quite a bit of gecko green, some slime, and then there was, you know, the other colors were starting to get kind of picked through. And so I was like, But at 70% off, I looked at the Bernat blanket for my daughter. So my daughter got the majority of this trip. I didn't get hardly any for myself this time around, but I did buy yarn, just not for myself. I got my daughter 6 big giant balls of that extra thick, it's like the size of my thumb, thick yarn. Like, it is thick. It's like extra thick or something is what it's called. I got her 6 of those, y'all. Those things are normally $25. So a blanket would have cost well over $100 to ever make. Like, just to make a baby size throw, like a 30 by 40 or something like that, was gonna cost, would have cost almost $75+ just for 3 of these things, because these were $23.99 big old balls of yarn, of chenille blanket yarn, but extra thick, you know, it was the bigger stuff. And she had showed interest, like, I would make one of those, like, with that really big thick yarn. And at 70% off, I was like, well, let me calculate it. I calculated on my calculator, and I went, ooh, $7. Oof, that's a lot. But I was like, for these, that's cheap. So I grabbed 3 of them. I was gonna grab like 3 or 4, but then I looked and it was on the band, it said 3 to make a throw size. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna double this. I'm gonna get her 6. so she can make a decent blanket that she can actually cuddle under and maybe cover her twin size bed that she has in her room and have a fun thick blanket that she can make. And then I almost forgot to look, they had quite a selection of hooks there, the Susan Bates hooks and needles and things. So I looked at the label and it recommended a size USU/50. And I was like, and I went over there to look, I didn't see any 50s, but then I looked in the parentheses underneath and it said 25 millimeter. I was like, okay, there's actually a 25 millimeter right here on the shelf, and a whole lot of them too. I mean, they're plastic, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and grab her a hook. So cause she can hand crochet or hand knit with this stuff, like it's that big, that she almost doesn't need a hook for it, but I went ahead and grabbed her one so she can crochet with an actual hook if she wanted to. I mean, it's gonna be a little weird. It's a little weird, I have to admit, crocheting with large hooks. Large hooks like that, like huge hooks. Now, the 10 millimeters, they're not so weird per se, but I run like two strands of yarn typically when I use something like that. But yeah, 7, 8, 9, and 10 don't really feel too weird to me, but it's, yeah, when you get into it's just a little weird. It just feels odd, or whatever you want to say. So yeah, so I went to that Joann and got, like I said, I got her 6 of the extra thick Bernat blanket stuff, and then I was like, you know what, it's 70% off. Let's see. I think the Bernat blankets, the normal Bernat blankets were normally like $11.99 or something like that, and I think I got her a couple different colors at like, what, $3 a piece or something like that. I was like, for Bernat blanket at $3, heck yeah, I filled that cart up with some colors for her. I got her like 3 different colors, 2 each of each color. So she got like 12 skeins of Bernat blanket. So when I took it out to my husband's truck that I was driving, I didn't bring bags, and you know, all these big balls of Bernat blanket, extra thick, and just the regular blanket was all in bags. And so I literally took the cart next to the truck and just started chucking them into the back seat, and that thing filled up, those things filled up the back seat. Well, not filled it up, but like took up a lot of space in the back seat. And then as I was waiting in line, they had these like Pop brand plushies. They had a bin of like mystery ones, keychains that you could pick. So I grabbed like a handful of those for the kids, and I got home, opened them all up, and then split them up amongst the kids. So they all have like keychains of like space related plushies and food. Like, I think we got a taco, we got 3 ears of corn, we got a planet, like a moon or a planet or something, and we got a rocket ship, and we got an alien head. And so I gave each one of the kids an ear of corn, because they were, you know, I had 3 kids, there was 3 ears of corn, they each got one. My daughter got the taco and the planet, because I don't know, I spoil her a little more than I do the boys sometimes. I'm like, and the boys don't really care about the keychains, so that's why I gave her the extra one, because she's, you know, she loves her keychains and things, and so, and her plushies, so. And then I found this sunflower plushie and a frog plushie, and I was like, you know what, I have to get these, they're cute. So I got myself some plushies to put behind me in my downstairs area, craft room. And so when you watch my lives after this, or from this morning on, you'll notice those. They may move around a bit once I get things a little more organized, after I get my new organization storage cabinet things. I really hope that the way we install them correctly, to where they don't settle, because I think my husband's going to put them straight on carpet, and I don't want them to settle too much and get ruined and off kilter and things. So hopefully he's got a plan for that. I'm sure he does. He just hasn't said anything about it. I'm sure he will. Or I'll ask him and be like, hey, so how are we going to counteract the counters? How are we going to counteract the counters settling on the carpet as they sit there and get, you know, what's the word? Balanced, I guess. Unbalanced. Right? Because you want to balance them, not balance them, but like, oh, what is it called? Like, I keep wanting to say tape measure in my head, but it's not tape measure. It's those unleveled. That's the word, because you want to use those levelers to level it out and make sure it's balanced, basically, but leveled. And so I want to make sure they, you know, it doesn't get messed up. The leveling doesn't get messed up with them sitting on the carpet. I think he's got a plan for that, because I don't know if, or I may bring it up and he never thought of it. I just happened to see a video on YouTube of somebody redoing their craft room or something, and they were talking about, oh, no. I watched this video of this mom redoing her daughter's room, and it was all mostly her. It showed in the video of her actually doing all the work. And like her husband came in and did, because he's a plumber, so he came in and did the, they had to do something with the AC vent and make it like a 90 degree. They had to bring it out a little bit or something, because they were putting in built-ins in the room. And she's like, she talked about how she had to pull up the carpet as she was getting it ready to put the stuff in. And she cut out carpet or pulled it back or something so she could put these built-ins in straight on the floor and not on the carpet, because it would mess up. Now she put in a whole like built-in like shelf from floor to ceiling with like a bench in between that and a desk for her daughter, because her daughter wanted to have a space to sit and look outside at the birds and things. So they put in a little built-in storage bench. But anyway, that's where I got that from. And so I want to make sure that we're only putting in lower base cabinets. Like we bought kitchen cabinets, so to speak, from Home Depot, but we're going to utilize them as a craft space instead of a kitchen. Obviously, we're not going to put a kitchen in our basement. But so yeah, I'm going to utilize that for storage. I'm hoping that I'm going to get enough storage, but I have plans to go buy so Walmart has these 9-cube white painted shelves for like $35, and that's really cheap because they're using like pressed board stuff, and so it's not exactly like well made. But I'm like, I'm just gonna put like yarn and stuff in it, so I was thinking of putting a couple of those and actually transitioning to those instead of using the ones that I have. I don't know, I don't mind the look of mine, but I kind of want to redo it and do these cube shelves. And I just don't, I was thinking of buying these cube shelves, getting a bunch of them and transitioning to them instead of what I have behind me downstairs. And I was gonna put probably one or two, because I need enough space to put my, and we're getting these counters because I have a Cricut and a heat press that needs space, and so one side of the wall or cabinet is going to have them sitting, so that I'm not going to be able to put any of the storage cubes on that side, because that's the whole point. Well, part of the point that we got the counters that we're doing what we're doing. One of the main reasons we're doing what we're doing is because I need the space to be able to put these on, because the thing that they're on now, they don't have the room. It's a TV stand, and so TV stands are typically really thin. They're not very wide, so it doesn't have enough width to it, depth to it, that I can turn my heat press. So it's going like this with the TV stand instead of being turned where I can work it like this. So I actually have to work like this against the wall, you know. So it works, it's just, but the counters, the countertop cabinets that we're getting, we're going to have, we're getting the cabinets because it's going to provide the storage that I need to put things away. But I want to, like I said, I want to get these white painted cube storage to put my yarn in. The little bits that I have extras of off to this, you know, that aren't on the wall that's behind me down there. So I don't know, we'll get it figured out. And so I just happened to be in Walmart, and I came across these shelves. They were 9 cube storage shelves, and I was like, these are only $35. I'd be okay with them, but I know my husband, he wants good quality stuff that's, you know, not cheap and gonna fall apart on you. He doesn't want to waste the money, is basically his thing. He just doesn't want to wait. He doesn't want me to buy the $35, well, I'm not saying that we've had this discussion, but I can kind of preemptively have the discussion in my head of how I think it'll go. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna be like, oh, that's super cheap, that's, you know, crappy stuff. But I'm like, you know what, it'll work. I don't need it for anything like spectacular. I don't need to go out and buy the $200 cube shelves, you know. But I don't know, I don't have a problem with the $35 cubes, you know. Yes, I know it's cheap wood, but I don't need it to be expensive. I mean, I care about my yarn, but I don't need the shelving to be super expensive just to hold it. So, and I like the idea of $35, because then I can get like 4 of them for $100, little over $100, and that's 36 shelves, 36 cubes that I can store yarn in, and I'd be happy with that. You know, I don't need to go to IKEA and get the 25 cube shelf where it's 5 by 5 and it costs like $100 and some odd dollars. You know, I don't need that, because even then, him and I have gotten to where we don't. We'll buy it from IKEA, but we've gotten kind of away from buying the wood furniture from IKEA, because we had some IKEA furniture that was just, we were done with it, and it just wasn't worth donating. So we had some fun destroying it and burning it, and oh, let me tell you, if you have IKEA furniture in your house, I'm just forewarning you that if you ever have a fire in your house, get out fast. Because that IKEA wood furniture, at least the furniture we had that we burned, it burned fast and hot. Just saying. We dang near had to, and we have a 2-story deck, because, well, it's not 2 stories, but it's on the second, it comes out from the 2nd story, and so it's lifted up high. So we didn't have, you know, you don't have a whole lot of like escaping except for the stairs. And anyway, let me just tell you, we were on the outskirts of this deck, and you could still feel the heat, like you were right up next to it. It was hot. And it went so fast. And then we were like, holy buckets. We had a whole bunch of this in our house, and still, I think we still had a bunch then too or something. I don't remember. But we were all like, man, could you imagine a house full of this stuff? That house would go up so fast. It would go so fast and so hot that it would take all the rest of it with it in the blink of an eye. It was eye-opening, to say the least. Now, I'm not saying that all the furniture from there is like that, but just be careful. We had the calyx shelves, which are the cube shelves. I don't know what they're named now. They renamed them to something else. Just be careful if you have IKEA furniture. The wood furniture. Now, we still have a bed from IKEA, but it's metal. So they geniusly had a twin bunk bed that you can stand up next to this thing. I can stand up next to it, and it actually comes to I don't have to go much more over, like I don't have to tippy toe to get to the kid in the bunk bed. But it still has a decent amount of space for the lower bunk. But the lower bunk is literally that far off the floor, you know? And so it's geniusly made. And it's in my youngest's bedroom now. So he has his own bunk bed. And then, like, on occasion, the boys will sleep with each other. Like, so the middle child, he has a queen bed. So then, you know, there's plenty of room for them to spread out on there and share the bed together. And then when they come up to the youngest bedroom, they have bunk beds that they sleep in. So, yeah, so just be careful if you have IKEA furniture, and just not saying to go out and get rid of it or anything, because, you know, it's good furniture. It's just know that if it ever goes up in flames, that more than likely it will go quick and it will burn hot and possibly take the rest of it with it. So yeah, I am almost done with this row. I'm on the return pass. I don't know if I mentioned that. I did not mention that. Yeah, so by the way, I'm returning to the end of the row and I'm almost done. And I have found something to talk about for 30 plus minutes again. I started out this video, y'all. I will be transparent and honest with you. I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna talk about? I have nothing to talk about. I always seem to find something to talk about. Just random things like IKEA furniture, you know, and my craft room and things. So we'll see. We'll see once the cabinets get put in. I'll have a better idea of. Oh, I need to change colors. Go back some. I will have, oh, my thing's not in here. Sorry, squirrel. My, little thingy that I have, blues after this. My little pouch is sitting out in the living room and not in the basket like it should be. So I can't cut the yarn of the green once I attach this blue. But that's okay. I can still work on this with the green attached until I get those scissors. But I'm not going to go any further, do any more rows right now. So I'm going to pack all this back into the basket and actually take it with me out to the living room, because I plan to like heavily work on this blanket over the next week and a half, because I want to get this done. That's the end of the story. But I have a goal to get it done by next weekend, because I want to give it to my youngest, my baby boy, for him to cuddle in on the night of his surgery that he has. I don't know. I just have this dream that I'll give this to him and it'll make him feel all good and mushy inside and not feel the pain of the surgery, and yeah, and just be wrapped in mommy's hug. So I tell my children, all the blankets I've made you, just think of them. If you ever feel scared, just go grab one of the blankets that I've made you and just wrap up in it, and just know that that's mommy hugging you, you know, because I've made them with all my love, sweat, and tears for them, because I want them to just, you know, I want them to love the blankets like that and know that I love them. You know, they know I love them, but know that, you know, I spent my time making these awesome blankets for them to wrap up in. I am actually jelly of this kid and this blanket. Like, it's a fun blanket. Like, it's not heavy when it's like flat on you, but like when you hold it up like this, it's got some weight to it, a little bit of weight to it. And it's not very like holy, but I'm excited for him to get it. See, in my mind, it's missing pink. It needs like a bright pink in it for some reason, but I told him, I was like, you're getting these 6 colors. We're not adding any more colors into it. I was like, we'll do the primary colors, the primary and secondary colors, because I think that's what these are. So you've got your primary, and then yellow is primary. So you've got your 3 primaries, your red, blue, and your yellow, and then your orange is your red and yellow mixed together. Your green is your blue and yellow together. Isn't that cool how that works with the rainbow? I never really thought about that. And then, that is so cool. And then the purple is the red and the blue mixed together. I'm sorry, this makes me look really naive and dumb. I know it does. And y'all are probably sitting there laughing at me, but I never really thought about the rainbow being that way. My God, you are amazing. Praise Jesus. I mean, that is just genius. I'm gonna go around and tell everybody that now. Oh goodness. Okay, we're gonna flip this back around because I gotta have it this way. I think today I'm gonna go cake up my other skeins of colors that I have downstairs. I went and bought an extra skein of each color thinking I was gonna need it, and then I was thinking, well, I might go back and get more if I need it, but I am still not through all the yarn from the first skeins that I bought for this blanket. I am on skein 1 of everything. Now, I did buy 2 black when I initially started this, and so each black on either side of the blanket has its own skein of yarn, so I probably have a little over 1 skein of yarn left between the 2. So, and I bet if I had split up the 2, or if I had just split up 1, I may have had to possibly get into a second one at this point on the black, but even then I don't think I did, because I think I'd still be in the same boat with the black as I do the other ones. But because I did the 2 full skeins of black on either side, 1 on either side, it has allowed it to go further, and so it's gonna go a ways. So yeah, I'm gonna get off here. It's been almost 40 minutes. I've gone way past where I usually go. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let me know, what were you working on while you watch this and listen to me? I really do want to know. Like, I love hearing all these different things that people are making and working on, because it really truly does inspire me, because that's why I have so many whips, because I just start all the things. And I have startitis, so I just need to have gotta finish itis. I have to have the gotta finishes it. Alright guys, friends, don't forget, be kind, be positive, and let's go make beautiful things. And I will see y'all on the next one. Later!